The 15th of May every year has been designated as the Day of the Families by the United Nations. This is to commemorate the values and essence of the family as a unit of the society saddled with specific responsibilities of affecting humanity with morals that are capable of achieving harmonious society. This year, the day reflects on the importance the international community attaches to families and their roles in development. On Panorama today from the Lagos Network Center, we shall be examining the sociological concept of the family in the society. I am Hinginu John Adams. Don't go away. Thanks for being there. President Muhammadu Buhari has berated the nation's elites for failing to sustain the legacies of Nigeria's founding fathers with regards to the provision of quality education at the basic level. This is contained in his remark when he hosted members of the Federal Executive Council, service chiefs and heads of government departments and agencies at the breaking of Ramadan fast. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports.
When I drive around the country, what upsets me very much is the status of poor people in this country. See young people, the Almajiris, so-called Almajiris, with torn dress, with plastic bowl. So they are looking basically for what to eat. The question of education or something is a luxury.
President Muhammadu Buhari blamed the situation on the social vices being perpetrated across the country, especially by the vulnerable children of the poor. Nigerian elites, he said, ought to have sustained programs that guarantee at least basic education in the country. He therefore described as welcoming his administration's school feeding program initiated by the vice president.
If you check your localities, the enrollment or the attendance improved, because a lot of children can get at least one good meal a day. And this market money are very good initiatives, which I must admit endeared this government to a lot of people, the poor people. This 10,000 naira, 5,000 naira, and then this free meal are fantastic programs. He did it, and I'm very pleased. It's been very successful.
President Buhari promised to ensure that the programs and other social welfare schemes are sustained in the next level so as to give the less privileged better sense of belonging. Vice President Emi Oshibaju, on behalf of the invitees, thanked the president for the show of love and generosity. This year's Ramadan fast, he said, which falls on the eve of a new term in office, is an opportunity for the leaders to remind themselves of their responsibilities and core mandate of enhancing the welfare and security of Nigerians.
We must, as leaders, by example and precept, show our own people that regardless of ethnicity and religion, we must be brothers in this country. We should not allow ourselves to be divided along those lines. Our country is great because of our people, and our country is strong because of our diversity. We can only build our strength and greatness on that unity, and we must never allow anyone to give us the impression that we are better divided than together. We must care about each other as a people.
More groups and individuals are expected to join the president in breaking the Ramadan fast in the coming days. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Former head of state, General Yakubu Gowon, says the Buhari administration is on track towards meeting genuine national aspirations for sustainable future of the country. General Gowon was speaking to newsmen shortly after an audience with the Nigerian leader. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports that the president also granted audience separately to 4 governors from various geopolitical zones of the country.
Head of State, General Yakubu Gowon, is the first former Nigerian leader to visit President Muhammadu Buhari in an individual capacity after his 2019 elections victory. The two leaders met behind closed doors for about 40 minutes, but neither the reason for the visit nor details of their discussions were made public. General Gowon, however, told newsmen that the Buhari presidency is on the right track.
Nigeria want peace, because without that peace, we wouldn't be able to sort of to get anywhere. And of course, Nigerians want development, and of course, this is what the government, I believe, is doing. Now, I did mine in those days, and I think the present government is doing also the best it could, ensuring agriculture, that we can be able to feed ourselves, and also to help other countries. These were some of the ideas that we had during our time, and I think they are making the necessary effort. Should we not say good luck to Mr. President?
President Muhammadu Buhari, who also received Governor Willie Obiano of Anambra State, was brought up to speed on his administration's various interventions in the southeastern state, especially the second Niger Bridge, as well as Oka-Onitsha Road projects, which he said are going according to plan.
Initially, people thought it was an election fluke, but you can see long after the election, those works are still going and going on very well. I also updated him on the social programs in Anambra, the homegrown school feeding program and the N-Power, and trader money and all the stuff. I briefed him fully that they are going according to plan. Because I know he's doing a great work, I told my people to know where we're headed, that this gentleman keeps his word, just like me, and he's doing a great work. So, and he's very honest, straightforward, his yes is yes, his no is no. So why can't I like such a fellow? As a governor and as Anambra State, we'll give him all the support to make sure he has a very successful second term in office.
Issues relating to security of lives and property dominated discussions during the separate meetings between the President and Governor Nasir El-Rufai of Kaduna State, as well as his Benue State counterpart, Samuel Otom.
I'm saying that no matter what anyone said last week, I am assuring Nigerians that the Abuja-Kaduna road is quite safe now and will be so long as the initiatives put in place by the various security agencies, details of which I am not willing to disclose, continue to be in place. People can be confident to drive on the Kaduna-Abuja road without any fear.
Despite the security reports that he received every day, I'm here to brief him about the effort so far, the effort the security men are doing with the government, working together to ensure that we restore security for lives and property. The challenge is that one notorious criminal called Ghana, who was trained by Boko Haram, is instrumental to the kidnappings that are happening between Benue and Taraba State. Now that I have the mandate of the people to track him down, working with the security agencies, I can assure you, just give me some little time, that will be done.
For Governor Akinwumi Ambode of Lagos State, his mission to the State House was to say thank you to the President for his recent official visit to the Center of Excellence.
And it's just very significant for me to come officially on behalf of all Lagosians to come and show appreciation and actually thank Mr. President personally for, finding time and deeming it fit to commission some of our projects that actually touch on the lives of Nigerians.
President Muhammadu Buhari was in Lagos State on the 24th of last month. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
With the return of Zainab Habibu Aliu, the young Nigerian lady wrongfully detained by Saudi authorities for alleged drug trafficking, correspondents Abdullahi Mustafa and Fatima Sanusi Karaye report on the emotional but joyful reunion of Zainab with members of her family, relatives and friends.
This was the mood at the protocol lounge of the Malam Aminu Kano International Airport when Zainab Habiba Aliyu, the released Nigerian detainee, arrived from Saudi Arabia. Zainab was erroneously detained by Saudi authorities for alleged drug trafficking. Her release was facilitated by the federal government after confirming that the exhibit found in her name was planted by a syndicate of drug traffickers. On arrival in Kano, Zainab was handed over to Airport Command of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA.
And as you are aware, the matter is in court, and we'll follow this case logically to ensure that the culprits are punished according to the law.
As official documentation by the NDLA officials ended, more family members, friends and well-wishers arrived at the airport to receive her.
There is nothing I can say, but I can't say anything. Just alhamdulillah.
Zainab Aliyu's loved ones have never thought this day will come, but their persistent efforts to prove her innocence made them to be elated at this moment.
Alhamdulillah, I thank Nigerians, I thank President Muhammad Buhari, in whose, through his own wisdom and directive, that my daughter has been released and I'm with her now in Nigeria.
I feel happy and I say all my praise to Allah. Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Today we are very happy that our little innocent Zainab has arrived to Kano at last.
Arriving alongside Zainab was another innocent Nigerian wrongly detained over similar allegation. Abubakar Ibrahim has also been in detention since December 2018 before his eventual release 2 weeks ago.
Allah saka masa da alheri mune kuma gaban kasa godiya Allah kara mai lafiya Baba Buhari saboda ga alhamdulillah.
This return to Nigeria of Abubakar Ibrahim and Zainab Aliyu has put to rest the concern of many Nigerians over their fate in the hands of Saudi authorities. Family, friends and well-wishers from the airport proceeded to the family house where my colleague Fatima Sanusi Karai was waiting.
Tears of joy running down their cheeks, laughter and happiness in their hearts as their daughter, friend and sister Zainab returns home after being detained for almost 5 months in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia for alleged drug trafficking. Zainab Habib, a level 4 student of EBUTE-METTA University, has every reason to be in this joyful mood for the simple fact that she was on death row in faraway Saudi Arabia for an offense she knows nothing about. However, after thorough investigations and top diplomatic talks between Nigeria and Saudi Arabia, Zainab is set free and is home.
This one's dull and empty room is full of jubilation as Zainab, the owner of this room, is back home. She's so excited to be united with her friends and she can't wait to return to her normal life.
Thank you so much. I just say Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah, she is back now. We are so excited and the excitement can't be described as well.
Express how happy I am after 5 months of detention.
I can't just explain how happy I am. Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah, she's back home.
Zainab was full of gratitude to NTA and indeed Nigeria.
Thank you, Nigerians.
In Kano, Fatima Sanusi Karai, NTA News.
That was a very touching story about Zainab and her family. The whole family was affected by her predicament. What a very good way to reflect the importance of the family in our lives. Incidentally, this comes barely 24 hours to the celebration of the International Day of the Family in Nigeria. How do we really play the roles assigned to us as members of a family? What are the challenges that we are often confronted with while carrying out our responsibilities? To give us an insight into this concept is a sociologist at the University of Lagos, Dr. Augustine Agugwa. Doctor, you're welcome on the program.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. Thank you for welcoming me.
What is a family in a nutshell?
Well, it's the smallest unit of what you might regard as societal institutions, saddled with the responsibility of procreation, socialization, and upbringing of the child within the concourse of the father, the mother, the children, and to an extent, very close relations.
Okay, talking about the theme which says families and climate action, what should be our focus?
The focus here has to do with the role of the family in the sustainability of the society, as it also impacts from related activities that manifest from the climate. It's to this extent when we look at how society grows, develops, and to an extent decays, we appreciate the fact that the family is regarded as the most important socialization agency, as it has to do with our attitude, as it has to do with our mannerisms, and as it has to do with our behavioral tendencies, which at the macro level, operating from the micro level, impacts greatly on the climate, and all of us are subject to the consequences of such behaviors.
Okay, what should be the roles being played by specific members of the family?
Of the family.
Yes.
Well, even if you take it to the realm of eschatology or biblical or Quranic injunctions, as it has to do with the father and the mother being, instructed, go ye into the world and multiply. The implication is that for the mother and the father, the first rule borders on procreation. But beyond the act of procreation, it's not just giving birth. The question is giving birth to what? To an individual. An individual is a human being. And when you're not looking at a human being, you draw a distinction between an individual as a member of society, different from an individual, in the state of nature. The family actually nurtures the individual to be a member of society, different from what sociologists will look at as the inadequacies of the individual within the state of nature, which we regard as the Hobbesian problematic, where anarchy reigns. But within the realm of individuals as members of society, you see acts of civilization emanating from socialization, principally from the father, because we are not looking at it from point of view of micro-analysis of individual roles. Whether in the realm of religion, the man is supposed to be the head of the family, but a head with a reasonable sense of responsibility in terms of protection, in terms of guidance, in terms of provision. That's why if you do a kind of functional analysis, drawing a distinction between the role of the man and the woman, the man is seen to be reasonably instrumental in orientation.
All right, Doctor, we'll take a break now. The program continues.
Yeah.
Slavery is an evil practice abolished all over the world over 200 years ago. But today, human traffickers are selling human beings as slaves in Africa. It is your responsibility to make sure that you and the people you know do not fall into slavery. Don't believe fake promises of jobs abroad.
People went to say Libya, Italy no use you when they carry me on top water. 4 days now they lock me for inside house, no food, no water. I nearly die. Now God, when me heaven and earth, now save me. If you get 1 naira for Nigeria, you get junior one, you say you no get papa, you no get mama, that make you come out. I beg go they do farm work. You better pass person when enter road.
Don't accept to travel to Europe through the Sahara Desert. You may be walking into slavery. Don't be a slave.
This is a public service announcement brought to you by
Thanks for being there. Doctor, before we went on this break, we were talking about the roles of family members.
Sure.
I would like you to give us your word of advice.
Yeah, role of the family, well, I stopped to an extent as it has to do with the role of the father, instrumental orientation, the mother, expressiveness in being a kind of support and stabilizing the psyche of not just the adult, but also the young personality. But principally today, when both functions of the father and the mother cohere properly, the child is brought up as a proper citizen for the society. But today, that institution is under siege, having to do with the inadequacies of the state, because the performance and nature and character of the state impacts to a reasonable extent on the functionality of the family. For the family to actually succeed in its designated roles, we need the state to actually be focused in creating an enabling environment for people to actually feel free to explore their potentials to the highest, and in the process be partners with the state in actually bringing up respectable and well-chaperoned citizens.
All right, thank you, Dr. Agugwa, for coming on the program.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for inviting me.
Moving on now, President Muhammadu Buhari's inauguration for a second term in office slated for May 29th is to be on low-key. Minister of Information Lai Mohammed announced this while briefing State House correspondents, adding that the decision was taken at the meeting of the Federal Executive Council last Wednesday. He said a number of events that usually follow the presidential inauguration will now be held during the first observance of the National Democracy Day on June 12. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo quotes the minister saying that details of the events slated for both the presidential inauguration and Democracy Day will be unveiled at a World Press Conference on the 20th of this month.
And as a measure to sustain June 12 as Democracy Day, the celebration of the inauguration and the advancement of democracy in the country will now take place on June 12. Invitations have been sent to all world leaders to attend the ceremonies marking the observance of the Democracy Day.
Minister of Transportation Chibuike Rotimi Amechi has directed the Nigerian Railway Corporation to carry out a fast audit of properties to be affected by the construction of the Apapa section of the Lagos-Ibadan rail project. The minister gave the directive while on an inspection tour and also noted that challenges on the Lagos corridor is delaying the speedy completion of work, unlike the Ibadan axis. Onyinaya Kaluoka has details.
It was an interesting inspection that had a little bit of drama and intrigues, as the Minister of Transportation Rotimi Amechi had many stops to get first-hand information at the Apapa corridor of the Lagos-Ibadan rail project. Some tenants who claimed to have paid the Nigerian Railway Corporation had receipts of 2015.
This land is created by Nigerian Railway Property. No, they are to go. There's no argument about that. Who rented? Maybe it's on just are you a staff? No. Is your husband a staff? How do you get access to railway property without railway? And they say they pay them to railway property. Where's your receipt? This is 2015.
The minister directed that NRC should carry out quick audit of property in order to identify the status of ownership.
I've almost cleared those diseases, so we believe that by June, construction from Iju to Apapa will commence at a faster speed.
Because these interferences have the penchant for delaying the projects. But the Honourable Minister clearly understands all these challenges and is providing us with guidance.
Inspection was also carried out at the Ogun State section of the rail project, where mega stations are being constructed.
So we think it's like this all over Nigeria, and I think people will be happy.
Part of our effort to bring railway development issues to generate revenue.
The minister said due to some obstructions, work from EBUTE-METTA to Apapa section of the project is not up to 10%, unlike the Ibadan section that is 70% completed. Oyinaya Kaloka, NTN News.
Sports update is next, and here's Kene Emabodi.